Are you a weightlifter that's tired of cookie cutter physical therapy exercises that just don't seem to work? Here's why most PT routines fail lifters like you. Most physical therapy programs are designed for the average person, not someone who pushes weight left and right or pulls a lot of load. This is a huge issue when it comes to recovery for lifters. Most stretches are static, meaning that they're going to be low repetition and going to be high, long hold times. And one, this can be boring. Two, this cannot transfer over to weight training very well. And when your PT exercises feel too easy or too light, they often are. Weightlifters need progressive loading and stability work to get back to square one. And traditional PT just doesn't map out a good routine or guide to get them back to where they need to be. So today's routine is going to talk about why we don't want to stretch so much, but we want to start with something else instead. And with the right plan, you don't have to feel frustrated or feel like you're stuck, being held back by generic routines. You can return back to lifting stronger and pain-free. Now, we're going to dive into the exercises you need to replace all of your stretching with when you first start your physical therapy routine. And this is going to be beneficial for anyone whose joints feel really stuck or feel like they're caught on something, you just don't want to move past beyond that point. And what these exercises are called are banded mobilizations. By applying gentle resistance with a band, you can create space in the joint and improve your overall range of motion. And you can do this while reinforcing stability through that movement. And why it works is because the band provides a gentle traction force, and all that means is it separates two bones apart from each other, help release extra tension. And this allows for a freer, smoother, painless movement. And with regular practice, you'll notice reduced discomfort, improved mobility, and a stronger shoulder. Now, let's start here with this sequence and toss that static stretching away. Exercise number one is going to be called a banded posterior mobilization with horizontal adduction. Now, as you can see in the video, all you're doing is attaching a band around the front of your shoulder, having you pull directly backwards in a straight line, and you're just attempting to drive your elbow straight and across your body, almost like you're throwing a punch at someone to the left-hand side of the body if you're using your right arm. Now, this is great for anyone with AC joint issues, shoulder impingement, any type of pinching sensation in the front of the shoulder, because it's going to allow you to get back to that ability to reach across your body, turn the steering wheel to the left without having that pinching and discomfort as you do your 2 or 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions here, slow and controlled. Right, now the next part of the series is called banded posterior mobilizations with internal rotation. And this is very similar. The band setup is exactly the same. It's still pulling you back in a straight line. Elbow is now at shoulder height. And all you're doing from here is you're starting in a neutral position, what we like to call it a field goal post position, where your wrist is stacked directly over your elbow. You're just trying to drive your fist down to the floor as far as you can, then come back to the top for repetitions, work on your internal rotation. And this is going to be beneficial for anyone who has trouble reaching behind their back, right, reaching across their body. This is going to help improve those two motions and help create traction and more space between the bones to reduce the pinching or stuck sensation you typically get. Now that is the first sequence. Let's get into the second sequence, which is going to be the opposite, okay? You don't probably need to do both of these unless you're dealing with something like frozen shoulder, but if you just have a generic shoulder impingement, you want to do those first ones that just went over, okay? Now, if you're dealing with some types of other issues where you have limited external rotation, where you can't really press, okay, you're going to want to do the second series. The second series is a banded anterior mobilization with shoulder external rotation and then shoulder extension. Now, same setup here. The only difference is now we're turned facing the band. So we're facing where the band is attached to, and the band is now pulling us forward instead of backwards in a straight line. Okay, now our elbow's at shoulder height. Instead of us going downwards, we're going to start in the downward position and bring our fist back to the wall behind us for the same amount of repetitions, going back and forth, trying to drive our fist as far as we can to the wall behind us without arching our back, without lifting our rib cage and keeping our abs and our butt muscles engaged, so our body stays nice and straight like a statue as we perform the exercise. Now, this is going to be the most beneficial for anyone who has trouble with bench press, overhead press, or wide grip push-ups or pull-ups. And then after you do this, you want to shift gears into doing the banded anterior mobilization with extension. Okay, all this means is we're doing the same line of pull with the band forward, arm is straight, and now we're trying to get straight back behind the body for repetitions with a straight arm as we squeeze our tricep and our rear delts, going back and forth from forward to back, trying not to rotate or twist our bodies, keeping everything in a nice straight kind of structured line. Now, again, these exercises are going to be very beneficial to do at the beginning of your rehab process. Okay, they're very good to do even before stretching. Not a lot of people have to do stretching. They just have to open up the joint space, get those joints moving in a better position. Then you can work on some stretching or foam rolling. Then you can do some strengthening. That's a typical order of progression you should move in for any type of weightlifter. Now, for any lifters still listening, I've created a specialized guide for lifters dealing with shoulder pain. Comment the word shoulder down below and I'll send that guide right over to get you back to lifting confidently in the gym, just like TJ here, as you can see in the video. So if you want to be like TJ here and you want to get back to lifting, pressing and cleaning heavy weights without having that pain or that pinching, then this is something you should start with through the guide. And if you want more specific help, send us a message with the word shoulder on Instagram at Dr. Choffner PTSC. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.